after last night's packed event with our community about what's happening with all these changes. We're going to do a session this morning called Mona Vale versus DY and the impact and the changes of what's going to happen with current zoning. Stay tuned. Expert property manager Cleo Witt here. Mona Vale versus DY. What do you reckon?
Well, being a passionate Mona Valeite, I would have to say I prefer Mona Vale to DY, although I work in DY. But I guess with these zoning changes, we might need to get prepared for a bit of a shake up of our area. And DY's kind of set the precedent for what could potentially, change the aesthetic, the look, the culture, everything. Everything could change.
More. It's just more and more and more.
It's true. It's true. Last night was such a great event and so informative, and we did have so many clients and landlords and community people that are interested in these changes, not only the ones that live in those suburbs affected, but how potentially their investment properties could improve or what to do in the future. It's all unknown territory, so I guess we're ripping the band-aid off, aren't we?
Yeah, the event, for people who don't know, and you can watch the event live on our Facebook or LinkedIn or my LinkedIn or even Insta. But it was a 1 hour event. We sold out within an hour of it being announced, and there was a short list of hundreds of people that we couldn't have. So that's why we made it a live event as well, because they couldn't be there. It's too packed. It's booked out. So I just want to say that some of the community members' comments were, everyone. There was a lot of fresh angles or different angles that I had not considered, and I think it was just really interesting hearing some of those questions. Plenty of questions, and if anyone's been unaware or under a rock, the state government's come along and actually and now on a state level switched off local controls in order to allow further density, sometimes 6 stories. In a lot of them within town centres, within 400 metres. So where it could be a little cottage or 2 or 3 or 10. That's 400 metres of village. Some of these places can go 6 stories. So people were concerned about what if the 3 houses next door go 6 stories and they don't, because they just love their location, their home. So it is disruptive as well as, I think some people think it's great. A lot of people think it's not.
It's true. And, we've seen some development in Mona Vale, not as much as DY. I'm pretty sure if, something like Meriton got built in our town centre, there would be a lot of conjecture there, because the highest story unit block in the town of Mona Vale is probably only 6 stories. That's just being built now across the road from Mona Vale Public School on the corner of Park Street. And we're watching that go up, and, it's on the corner. So aesthetically, it does kind of blend because there is apartments, but then further up the street now, who knows what could be built. So I guess there's a little bit of uncertainty there. In DY, I know that we expect, density. It's been like that for, a long time, whether it's these new apartments. There's always been a lot of apartments in DY and development happening. But in places like Mona Vale, we haven't seen that much. Across the road from the Flying Fox park, there was 3 houses, and they've knocked those down, and they're doing a set 55. So that's still only 2 stories. Like, it hasn't been a big punch in the face. It's been, it's kind of blending in anyway. So this whole 6-story state ruling is scary for a lot of us that live in the area, because some of us don't like change. We don't want it too congested in there, although it does create opportunity and growth and all those things. But yeah, the
Yeah, and
parking is a problem.
parking's a problem, but there's 170 town centres that have been nominated. So anyone who's watching is thinking, "Oh, how does this affect me with Mona Vale or DY?" Well, it could be coming next door to you. It's 170 towns. If you do want more information, we've got a SMS we can send straight back to you, an auto replier with all the information there. 0460 111 0460 111. Send the word rezone and you can look up your area. But so this is, I know we're doing Mona Vale versus DY, but this is relevant to 170 town centres. Parking's an issue, so let's be real negative about it, because I think sometimes we can learn we may be able to learn even more. Like, parking's an issue. Some people have bought close, a cute cottage, or built a brand new home,
Yeah,
400 metres of their town centre, in Mona Vale. It would be pretty disheartening that you've spent, $500,000 or $1 million or $1.5 million on a beautifully designed home for your family, to then find out the harsh reality that, you can have possibly 6 stories to the left and 6 stories to the right. That would erode your value.
definitely. And your neighbor might do it and then you haven't done it. So it would be a missed opportunity as well at some point. I also, the negative things as well is whenever you get, high density, it packs the schools. Our schools are already full. Mona Vale Public, there's no more room. Sacred Heart in Mona Vale, there's no more room. So I understand the housing crisis and shortage, and this is great, but at the same time, does the infrastructure, like, is it supported? If our schools are already full, are they going to build a new school? Like, it's all relative to that. I do understand kids then go to high school, so there's room, again, and it's an ebb and flow, but these are concerns of the community, not just parking.
And can the transport keep up?
Well, I think this is why Mona Vale's been chosen as one of the suburbs. Yes, I believe Mona Vale, that's the hub of the B line. That's where the bus comes from. That's where it starts and that's where it finishes. And we do have that supported, infrastructure there. And another thing, I guess, that is similar with Mona Vale and DY is we have those main arterial roadways. We've got Mona Vale Road that can take you all the way out to the western suburbs, and then you've got Warringah Road that can take you all the way to the city and Chatswood. So, both suburbs have that capability of being able to, go in and out of the beaches quite well. So I do understand from that standpoint that, we're a good candidate, not that we want it, but but we are a good candidate for that reason. Excuse
Or
me.
and something that people may have not realised, after the Q questions and answers on the informational night last night, was that these town centres, the centre, the core, the commercially zoned areas, are actually unaffected. So this statewide sweep of density change is actually not affecting the commercial precinct, which I thought was a bit weird, because what you're actually going to find is that 0 to 400 meters outside of that is going to be higher than the township.
Yeah, it's all residential. It's mostly residential.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So to give you, like, Mona Vale an example, you'll find that the surrounding 400 meters could be higher than the actual town centre. So that's interesting. It may be a little bit of a bump, a good thing for the supporting businesses. So, coffee shops, gyms, doctors. There may be a bit of stimulus with that more density coming to the area. Something that I thought was interesting, because we had a town planner there last night. Something I thought interesting, Ellie mentioned, was that even though it appears that everyone within 400 meters is eligible, the actual there's still some controls that will hold some people back. And I think you said something like 18 or 36% will be developed of those properties within those zones. The harsh reality is when they did an overlay of what works does work. It doesn't just automatically work if you're within 400 meters of a town centre.
Yeah, so it's not just a carte blanche for anyone, another thing I took away was like this
Great word.
is
What a great word. Nice word. Yep.
it's true.
Right.
It's true. But I mean, that's what I didn't understand about this, the difference between state and council. So I guess in the old days, if you didn't want something, you just complained to council and then they, the DA didn't get approved or it got, overheld or took time. Whereas now
Yeah,
that
it's been
whole,
Aaron Brockovich.
yeah. So yeah, like all these people in Mona Vale could write, I oppose this, I oppose that, I oppose that, and then council gets bogged down. Whereas now, I guess the opposition is going to be, not a thing. It's just going to come down whether it's compliant or not compliant. Simple. Yeah,
Interesting.
it is.
Mona Vale versus DY. That's our take from speaking to members of the community last night and living in the community for a very long time. And yeah, I think stay tuned. Stay tuned. Before I go, it could be switched off. They could turn around in a year or two or three and say, okay, we're done. We've got enough property. So yeah, it's interesting to see how this works out.
Yeah, like if it doesn't work, it won't work. It's a trial and error. So let's see how we go. Watch this space.
Watch your space. So I'll say it again, guys, before we go, if you want to see what we talking, the community talking to our town planner and vice versa, SMS the number 0460 111 and then SMS the word rezone and you'll get the bup where you become an expert yourself or watch that video. And Cleo, thank you for coming on this morning.
No problem. See you guys. Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Cheers. Bye.